Hey, yo, what's good with it, y'all? It's your boy, Mistah Wilson, and you are now tuned in to Wilson Block 100 Radio. And today, man, I got a very interesting topic, okay? Should school buses stop both lanes of traffic? Okay, now, this was a rule that I didn't even know was in place until I was stuck in traffic, and soon found out why, and it was because there was a school bus there was a school bus across the street, and it stopped both lanes of traffic, and I didn't understand why. Okay, now first and foremost, let me just say, I'm all for the safety of our children and the youth out there, getting picked up and dropped off these school buses. Of course, I'm all for their safety. Okay, but one thing you gotta realize is that, when you're in traffic, okay, or especially a main boulevard, that's not the place you really want to be dropping off kids. Okay, now, people argue like, oh, they're kids, they have a right to get dropped off right there. It's not even about that. Okay, nobody's saying that you can't drop the kids off, on Whoop-de-Whoop Boulevard. No one's saying that. But what we're saying is, if the bus did pull over to a residential street where the kids could enter or exit the bus safely with no extreme hazards, like the middle of traffic where you may have 2 or more lanes. It'll be safer if you just pull over under. It'll be safer and easier and better for everybody. Okay, don't just have the attitude like, oh yeah, well the kids, they have a right to do that, and ignore the fact that, okay, well if they just pull over on the residential street, then nobody has to be inconvenienced. Okay, but let me just go ahead and and say this too. I went to elementary school. I was taking the school bus, okay, and the school bus would drop us off on a, it wasn't a residential street, but it wasn't the main vein, okay, it wasn't the main boulevard, okay, and they would drop us off, and we would get picked up, and I don't remember, maybe I was too young to pay attention or to even know that that's what was going on, but I don't even remember, both lanes having to stop, even for me, okay, when I was catching or taking the school bus. And, one day I'm in Seattle, Washington, and I'm driving down my way, and then, we're in traffic and we're stopped, and I'm over here wondering why. It wasn't too long before I just, started to like look and wonder like, okay, well, what's the holdup? And it was a school bus across the street with its stop sign out, and there were kids crossing the street, okay, or getting off the bus, whatever. And I'm over now. I start honking like, yo, man, they on that side of the street. Why are we stopped? Like, I didn't understand that. And then I'm honking for the guy in front of me to go. And while I'm honking for him to go, the car next to me rolls his window down and start chirping at me like, yo, man, it's the kids, man. Relax. It's the kids. They're getting off the school bus. And I'm like, okay, well, they're not in my lane of traffic, so why am I stopped? Okay, what's so wrong with, if they're on the opposite side of traffic, what's so wrong with letting the kids out and them walking to the traffic light and crossing the street properly, okay, or going to the crosswalk and crossing the street there, okay? Don't hold up both sides of traffic, you know what I mean, just because you want to argue the kids have a right to get let off here. Yeah, they have a right. They also have a right to get left off anywhere that's not an inconvenience for everybody, okay? And, I just wanted to share that, man, because, a lot of people's arguments just aren't good enough for me, okay? Like, listen, man, I'm all for, there to be rules and regulations, but not just for extracurricular control, okay? You're not going to tell me what to do just because you want to tell me what to do. You're going to tell me, like, hey, man, no, don't do that, because if you do that, then X and O might happen, and we don't want that to happen, okay? I can understand that, okay? But don't tell me like, oh, the kids, they don't have to park on a residential street. It's not about them having to do anything, okay? It's about understanding. Like, for example, when I'm driving in my car, okay, You know, I'm mindful of traffic in every car around me. Okay, I'm paying attention to see if any cars are trying to merge in my lane. You know, if they're trying to make a right coming up so I don't speed too much, or any all that stuff. Even when it comes to crossing the street, which I'm gonna get into in another episode. But you know, I just wanted to talk about that. You know, I understand both sides to the argument. Okay, and at the end of the day, I think it's actually safer. Like what I'm suggesting to do, you know what I'm saying? The school bus is pulling over on the residential street to let the kids out. Okay, that's actually safer. Okay, for everybody, not just convenient, but safer. Okay, the kids don't have much to look out for if they're let out on a side street where it's safe to get out. Okay, and yo, man, it's your boy Mr. Wilson. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I just wanted to talk about that real stuff because it's Mr. Wilson's podcast. And nah, man, let's talk about it. Okay, and make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube if you like the content. You know, check out the Wilson Block magazine. It come out every Monday, and you know what it is, son. Until next time, I'm out.